Hey everybody, it's our math lesson today for repeating decimals, and it's Wednesday, then we're in the middle of the week. Alright, so we're in your trusty math book on page 287 and 288, and it's just repeating decimals. And if you're watching my videos and I'm speaking to you right now, you're getting the treats of not having to do everything. Unlike some people, if they don't watch my videos. Because I can tell who does and who does not by your work. So repeating decimals. A fraction that is, I'm in the top of that yellow box, or beige box, or caterpillar box, whatever kind of box you want to say. Color it is. It says a fraction that divides out evenly is called a terminating decimal. Means you don't have to annex zeros or add zeros. For example, decimal 25 is a terminating decimal because its fraction equivalent 1/4 terminates when the 1 is divided by the 4. It means basically that if they're at a point, it will end. You don't have to keep annexing and adding the zeros. Let me show you what it means. So the decimal, the fraction is 1/4. You've already learned how to change fractions into decimals because you did that yesterday. So you're still going to annex your zeros and add them in, but this one will end. It won't be keep going on and on is what it means by a terminating decimal. It will stop. So 4 goes into 10 2 times, and that's 8. 10 minus 8 is 2. Annex your 0 and bring it down. Now we know that 4 can go evenly into 20 5 times. Okay, we don't have to keep annexing zeros and it doesn't keep going on. It just stops. That's why this is called a terminating decimal. It doesn't keep going on and on and on like a repeating decimal. So let's keep reading. Okay? Fact 2 says a repeating decimal is a decimal that never terminates, means it never stops. It goes on and on and on. When the numerator is divided by the denominator, for example, decimal 3 is a repeating decimal because its fraction equivalent 1/3 has a remainder of 1. When the 1 is divided by the 3, no matter how many zeros are annexed to the numerator. So I'll show you what it means by a repeating decimal. Okay? So it was 1/3. Well, to change that fraction into a decimal, we know we're going to divide. We know we're going to have to annex some zeros. We know 3 can go evenly, not evenly into 10, but we know it can go 3 times, because 3 times 3 is 9. And you're going to have a 1 left over. We'll annex another 0. It's going to give you 10 again. And if you can tell, it's going to keep doing the same thing over and over and over. That means this is always going to be a 3. That means it's a repeating decimal. So really, to do a repeating decimal, to write it, you do decimal 3 with a line over it. You don't have to keep writing 3s because you would never be able to write them all. So that line above that 3 means it's a repeating decimal. Or you can write it like this with 3 ellipses behind it. I prefer to write it like this because it's just easier. Then you have to remember to put a line above it. Here you got to remember those 3 dots, those ellipses. So if number 3 says 3 dots following a decimal is one way to indicate a repeating decimal. A line over the digit that repeats is another way to show that the decimal repeats rather than terminates. For example, the decimal equivalent of 5/6 is the repeating decimal 8/3. Notice the line is drawn over the 3 only because only the 3 repeats. So they write it like this. only the 3 repeats. Now, if the 8 and the 3 both repeated, then you would put one line over both. But it doesn't. It's just the 3. So the line only goes over the number that repeats. That's the only time you put that repeating line above a decimal, if it's the number that keeps repeating over and over again. Just like here, if I had kept working it out, it would have been another 3. There's also a box on this page. Learn these fraction decimal equivalents that have repeating decimals. You need to learn those. Just like yesterday I told you to study that other box all week, study this box too all week. It's going to help you. Alright, now I want you to look at number 1 in your math book on page 287. It says, change these fractions to repeating decimals. Notice the repeating pattern when 9 is the denominator. So, there is a pattern here on A through F. If you look at the first one, we're going to do 1A and 1B, and I'll tell you the pattern, because I'm pretty sure you're going to pick up on it. So we're just going to do 1A and 1B, and it's 1 night and 2 nights. And I think it ends with 8 nights. I don't do 3, but okay. So when you divide, I'm going to annex my zeros and add my decimal, because I've got to change that fraction to a decimal to know what it's going to be. We know it's going to go 1 time. And we can already tell it's going to keep repeating. So 1 ninth is decimal 1 repeating. Okay, let's look at the 9 over 2. You know you're going to have to annex a 0, add your decimal. How many times does 2 go? 20. How many times can 9 go into 20? It's not going to go evenly. We know that. It's going to be 2 times 9 is 18. Annex another 0, and you can already tell it's going to be the same thing again. So 2 ninths is decimal 2 repeating. So if you look at the pattern, the decimal is the same as the numerator. Decimal 1 repeating, that's the numerator. Decimal 2 repeating, that's the numerator. So when 9 is in the denominator and you're changing that fraction into a decimal, all you have to use the number that's above it, and it's going to be a repeating decimal. That's all it is. That's the pattern. Alright, I want you guys to look at number 8. I've noticed either some of you have not, some students have not watched the video on perimeter and area, some have, and I can tell who understands it and who doesn't, because some of you, when you did perimeter, you just added the 2 numbers it gave you. You didn't do the 2L, the 2 times length plus 2 times width. Our area, you didn't, you're not, if you don't understand it, please let me know. Because that's why I'm making these videos. I can tell some of you were watching my videos. And I know I'm running my mouth off of the ones that are not watching it, but you need to stress to your friends, guys, watch these videos. Because Miss Sewell can tell who doesn't understand, who doesn't. Even if I try to contact you about it, I've got to get a response. If you don't know how to do it, please let me know. Because perimeter, it's really not as hard as some of you are making it out to be. you to look at 8A. It's a square, okay? 8A. When it's a square, the perimeter is 4 times S. That means 4 times one of the sides. When it's area, it's the side times the side. That's what it is with a square. Well, with a square, all the sides are the same. So it gave you 9.3 as the side. So you would say 9.3 times the 4. 9.3 is the side. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 9 is 36, plus one more is 37. There is one number behind the decimal. That is the area for that square. The perimeter for that square. Now for area, you would just say 9.3 times 9.3. Well, 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 9 is 27. 9 times 3 is 27. 9 times 9 is 81, 82, 83. 9, 14, 5, 6. There's two numbers behind the decimal. That's the area. Okay? Look now at 8C. It's a rectangle. So the perimeter area changes slightly. For a rectangle, the perimeter is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. The area is just the length times the width. So for here, the length is 15, and I think the width is 9. You don't just say 15 plus 9. That's not the perimeter. That's only part of the perimeter. Because I saw that some of you had did that on your quiz last week, on Friday. Alright, so we're going to say 15 times 2. 5 times 2 is 10. 2 and 2 plus is 30. And then 9 times 2 is 18. Then you're going to add those together. 8 and 4. So your perimeter is 48. Now for your length times width, now you're going to say 15 times 9. 9 times 5 is 45. 9 plus 4 more is 135. So if you don't understand the perimeter, please let me know. If you don't understand area, let me know. If you don't understand what we talked about today, repeating decimals, please let me know. That is what Miss Sewell is here for, guys. Today, the only problems you have to do are on page 288, 8, 9, and 10. That's all you got to do today is problems 8, 9, and 10. Hope you like the little treat. You don't have to do everything. Let your friends know they should watch the videos if they want to do less work. Alright, I'll see you next time in our next Math Lab video. Bye.